The Ultimate Heist Part 3. The safe house was a nondescript building on the outskirts of neotokyo, blending seamlessly into the industrial landscape.
Inside, the team gathered around a large table, the adrenaline from the high-speed escape still coursing through their veins. The room was filled with the hum of computers and the soft glow of monitors, casting an eerie light on their faces. Max stood at the head of the table, his expression serious.
All right, everyone. We made it out, but that was just the beginning.
We need to assess our situation and figure out our next move. Luna was already at her laptop, her fingers flying over the keys.
I've been analyzing the data we retrieved. This technology is more dangerous than we realized. It's a prototype for a new kind of surveillance system, capable of monitoring and controlling entire cities.
Jax frowned, his arms crossed.
So, what do we do with it? We can't just hand it over to Mr. Black. Max nodded. Agreed. We need to figure out who we're really dealing with and what their intentions are.
But first, we need to secure this place.
Jax, Mia, Zara, check the perimeter. Make sure we're not being followed.
The three of them nodded and headed out, leaving Max, Luna, and Leo in the room.
Max turned to Luna. Can you trace where this technology came from? Maybe we can find out more about who developed it.
Luna nodded, her eyes focused on the screen.
I'll see what I can do. It might take some time, though.
Leo leaned back in his chair, deep in thought.
We also need to consider our next steps. If Mr. Black finds out we're not delivering the technology, he'll come after us. We need to be prepared. Max sighed, running a hand through his hair. I know. But we can't just hand over something this dangerous. We need to find a way to expose the truth and take down whoever is behind this.
As they discussed their options, Jax, Mia, and Zara returned, their expressions grim.
Perimeter's clear, Jax reported. But we need to stay on high alert. If Mr. Black is as powerful as we think, he'll have resources to track us down. Max nodded. All right. We'll take shifts keeping watch. We need to stay sharp and be ready for anything.
The night passed slowly, the team taking turns keeping watch while Luna continued her work. As dawn approached, she finally looked up from her laptop, her eyes tired but triumphant.
I've got something.
The technology was developed by a company called Nexus Corporation. They're a front for a much larger organization, one that's been involved in some pretty shady dealings.
Max leaned in, his interest piqued. What kind of dealings? Luna pulled up a series of documents on the screen.
Illegal surveillance, data manipulation, even political interference.
They're using this technology to control and manipulate entire populations. Leo's eyes widened. This is bigger than we thought.
We need to take them down.
Max nodded, his resolve hardening. Agreed. But we can't do it alone.
We need allies, people who can help us expose the truth and bring Nexus Corporation to justice.
Jax cracked his knuckles. I know a few people who might be able to help.
Old friends from the racing scene who have a bone to pick with Nexus Corporation.
Mia nodded. Same here. We can reach out and see who's willing to join the fight.
Max looked around at his team, feeling a surge of pride. They were in over their heads, but they were determined to see this through.
All right. Let's get to work. We've got a lot to do, and not much time to do it.
The safe house buzzed with activity as the team worked tirelessly to uncover the truth behind Nexus Corporation. Luna's fingers flew over her keyboard, her eyes glued to the screen as she sifted through mountains of data. Max paced the room, his mind racing with thoughts of their next move.
Luna, what have you found?
Max asked, stopping to look over her shoulder. Luna glanced up, her expression serious.
Nexus Corporation is more than just a front for illegal activities. They're deeply embedded in the city's infrastructure. They've got their hands in everything from law enforcement to politics. This surveillance technology is just the tip of the iceberg.
Leo leaned in, his brow furrowed.
So, what do? We can't take them down alone. Max nodded. We need allies.
People who can help us expose the truth and bring Nexus Corporation to justice. Jax, Mia, Zara, reach out to your contacts.
See who might be willing to join the fight.
Jax cracked his knuckles.
I've got a few people in mind.
Old friends who have a score to settle with Nexus Corporation.
Mia nodded. Same here. I'll make some calls. Zara grinned. Count me in. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve.
As Jax, Mia, and Zara set to work contacting their allies, Luna continued her deep dive into Nexus Corp's operations.
Hours passed, and the tension in the room grew.
Finally, Luna looked up, her eyes wide with shock. Max, you need to see this, she said, her voice trembling.
Max hurried over, his heart pounding. What is it? Luna pointed to the screen. Nexus Corporation isn't just controlling the city's infrastructure. They're manipulating data to influence elections, control the media, and even orchestrate criminal activities. They're using their technology to create chaos and then stepping in as the saviors to gain more power. Leo's eyes widened. This is huge. If we can expose this, we can bring them down. Max nodded, his resolve hardening. We need to gather as much evidence as we can and find a way to get it to the public. But we have to be careful. If Nexus Corporation finds out what we're doing, they'll come after us with everything they've got.
As the team continued their work, Jax, Mia, and Zara returned, each with a list of potential allies. They gathered around the table, sharing their findings. I've got a few old racing buddies who are in, Jax said. They're tough and know how to handle themselves. Mia nodded. I reached out to some friends in the underground racing scene. They're willing to help, but they want to know what they're getting into. Zara grinned. I've got a few contacts in the tech world who can help us hack into Nexus Corp's systems. They're eager to take down the big bad corporation. Max looked around at his team, feeling a surge of pride. They were up against a powerful enemy, but they had allies and a plan. All right, let's get to work. We need to gather as much evidence as we can and prepare for the fight ahead. The next few days were a blur of activity. The team worked around the clock, gathering evidence and coordinating with their allies. Luna hacked into Nexus Corp's systems, uncovering more damning information. Jax, Mia, and Zara trained their new recruits, preparing them for the battle ahead. As the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, Max felt a sense of determination. They were getting closer to the truth. With each new piece of evidence, their resolve grew stronger. One evening, as the team gathered for a briefing, Luna looked up from her laptop, her eyes filled with excitement. I've found something big. Nexus Corporation is planning a major operation in the next few days. If we can intercept it, we can gather the final piece of evidence we need to expose them. Max's heart raced. What's the plan? Luna pulled up a map on the screen. They're transporting a shipment of their surveillance technology to a secure location. If we can intercept it and gather the data, we'll have everything we need to bring them down. Leo nodded. We'll need to be quick and precise. This is our chance to take them down for good. Max looked around at his team, feeling a surge of pride. They were ready for the fight ahead, and with their skills and determination, they had a fighting chance. All right, everyone. This is it. Let's get to work and take down Nexus Corporation once and for all.
The safe house was buzzing with activity as the team prepared for their next move. They had gathered crucial evidence against Nexus Corporation, but they knew they needed more to bring the corporation down. As they strategized, a new threat emerged, one that could jeopardize everything they had worked for. Max was in the middle of a briefing when his phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and saw a message from an unknown number. "We know what you're up to. Meet us at the old docks. Midnight. Come alone." Max's heart sank. He knew this could only mean one thing: his old nemesis, Rafe, had found out about their plans. Rafe led a rival gang that had clashed with Max's crew more times than he could count. If Rafe was involved, things were about to get a lot more complicated. Max turned to his team, his expression grim. "We've got a problem. Rafe knows what we're up to. He wants to meet tonight at the old docks." Jax frowned. "Rafe? That guy's trouble. What's he want?" Max shook his head. "I don't know, but we can't ignore this. If he's involved, it could jeopardize everything. I'll go meet him and see what he wants." Mia stepped forward, her eyes filled with concern. "You're not going alone. It's too dangerous." Max nodded. "I know. But we can't risk drawing more attention. I'll take Jax with me. The rest of you stay here and keep working on the plan." As midnight approached, Max and Jax arrived at the old docks, the air thick with tension. The docks were deserted, the only sound the distant lapping of water against the pier. Max's eyes scanned the shadows, looking for any sign of Rafe. "Stay sharp," Max whispered to Jax. "Rafe's not one to play fair." A figure emerged from the shadows, flanked by several men. Rafe's smirk was unmistakable, his eyes gleaming with malice. Max stepped forward, his expression hard. "What do you want, Rafe?" Rafe chuckled. "Straight to the point, as always. I know about your little heist. And I want in." Max's eyes narrowed. "Why would I ever trust you?" Rafe's smirk widened. "Because you don't have a choice. You see, I've got my own beef with Nexus Corp. They've been muscling in on my territory, and I don't take kindly to that. We can help each other." Jack stepped forward, his fists clenched. "And what makes you think we need your help?" Rafe's eyes flicked to Jack's, his smirk never faltering. "Because I've got resources you don't. Information, contacts, muscle. You want to take down Nexus Corporation? You'll need me." Max considered Rafe's words, his mind racing. He knew Rafe couldn't be trusted, but he also knew they needed all the help they could get. "All right, Rafe. We'll work together. But if you double-cross us, you'll regret it." Rafe's smirk turned into a grin. "Wouldn't dream of it. Let's take down Nexus Corporation together." Back at the safe house, Max briefed the team on the new development. The news was met with mixed reactions, but they all understood the necessity of the alliance. "We don't have to like it," Max said, "but we need Rafe's resources. We'll keep a close eye on him and his crew. If they step out of line, we deal with it." Luna nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "I'll keep monitoring their communications. If they try anything, we'll know." Leo leaned back, his expression thoughtful. "This could work to our advantage. Rafe's gang has connections we don't. We can use that to gather more evidence and hit Nexus Corporation where it hurts." Mia sighed, her concern evident. "Just be careful, Max. Rafe's not one to play by the rules." Max nodded. "I know. But we don't have a choice. Let's get back to work. We've got a lot to do." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity.
The team worked tirelessly, coordinating with Rafe's gang and gathering more evidence against Nexus Corp.
The alliance was uneasy, but it was effective.
With Rafe's resources, they were able to uncover more of Nexus Corp's operations and gather the final pieces of evidence they needed.